everybody? Floppy Hat Photos back here again for a random rant. And today's random rant is kind of based on a generalization. I've been seeing a bunch of people post about on Facebook and different places, and they're complaining about the cost of rental properties and how the rental market's insane and it's just too high and nobody can afford it, yada yada. And also a lot of them are complaining about the fact of basically the fact that rent costs as much as a mortgage. You should just go buy a house. Rent shouldn't cost that much. No way a rent should cost as much as a mortgage payment. And that's what I want to focus on more. I'm not going to focus on the fact a lot of people here complaining the fact that you don't have any money and rent's too high in that, but yet you have a $1,000 iPhone. And I'm not going to complain about the fact that you're getting your nails did every damn week, and you have an $800 a month car payment and so on and so forth. I'm not going to complain about that shit. You have a $150 a month phone bill and a $200 a month cable bill. I'm not going to complain about that. Not that one there. I'm going to go on the fact of cost. Cost of rent should be more than a damn mortgage payment. And I guarantee that is the case, because here's the thing. You're telling me, as a person who owns a property, I have to take, let's just say the fact that I go get a loan. So I put 10% down or 20% down or whatever I put down. Doesn't matter. But you're saying I should put up let's just go with the rental market here, $250,000, which is the price of a house. So I should put up my $250,000, and my mortgage payment comes out to, I don't know, let's just say with the payment itself, $800. I don't know, not even. You're telling me I should rent that thing to you for less? Now let's even go one step further and say the fact, first off, that's ridiculous. That's not going to happen because, again, not what it is. But let's go one step further and say include taxes, insurance, and the escrow. So let's say it includes the tax insurance. So we're looking about $1,500 or so, maybe $1,700, depending on your credit score, depending on your down payment, depending on the taxes. Every little number is a little different. Let's just say $1,500 is what a $250,000 house would cost. Okay, let's just say it's the case. Rent on that place, you're saying it should be less than that. And in your mind, you're thinking, well, because they got the house, they have value, it's going to go up in value. It doesn't always go up in value. Look back in 2008, there's a lot of people that lost everything because of the fact that their houses, they were taking out balloon payment, interest-only loans, all kinds of crap. But let's just go back and say the payment was, let's just say our mortgage payment, taxes included, escrow, insurance stuff, is $1,500. And you think rent should be less than that. So I have to put out, let's just say I only put 20% down. I have to put out $50,000 of my money, 50 grand cash up front. I got to give them. Let's go. I put out 10%, $25,000 of my hard cash that I've earned, already built from whatever reason. I've got $50,000 I put down on this house, which I put down on it, which, by the way, as a renter, you don't do. You do not do that. So you have all your money in your pocket. So guess what? Now you're making the rent payment of $1,500. I'm also turning it around and giving it all straight to the bank, which then gives it to taxes, insurance, and the mortgage payment itself back. Okay, that's great. So you're going to sit here and tell me the fact that in that situation, I should do that. And I should even probably charge you less because I have the house still. Well, I'm out 50 grand. So how do I ever get my 50,000 bucks back? I don't get my 50 grand back until I sell the house? That doesn't make any sense. Why would I do this? I can invest my 50 grand in Tesla or in Bitcoin or Dogecoin or whatever the hell I want to do and have a better rate of return on my money than letting it sit in this house you're now living in, by the way, without any risk. And at this point, guess what? Let's just go there alone. That alone is not enough reason because the housing doesn't make sense. I'm going to sit on my money for 30 years before I get my money back, before I break even. Like, that makes no sense at all. That's ridiculous right there alone. Let's go one step even further than that. When the hot water heater breaks, or I shouldn't say hot water, that's redundancy. It doesn't heat hot water. The water heater breaks to make the water hot. That right there can run you anywhere from $500 to $2,000, depending on the house and who you have install it. So now you're paying $1,500. I put the $1,500 into the bank, which they now take for taxes and payment and insurance. Okay, I now have an additional $500 out. So now I'm out 50 grand for down payment, plus I'm out another $500 to $2,000 for this water heater. So you're not out that. So now I got to come out my own pocket. So I got to go pick up a second job, maybe drive Uber so I can pay to fix your water heater. That ain't how that shit works. That's times when you own a house. You're the one supposed to have that extra money. You're the one that takes that responsibility. That's what the case is. So the extra money, let's say I'm charging you $2,000 a month for rent on this place. And my mortgage payment all included is only $1,500. That means the fact that after 1 to 4 months, I can recoup my money of what it cost for that water heater. So guess what? After 1 to 4 months, depending on the cost of the water heater, I get that money back. So now I'm back to even again. But I'm still at 50 grand. But let's go back and say, okay, I'm charging $500 a month more than what my mortgage costs. That $500 goes into the 50 grand. Not very fast. Because let's do the math. Let's just say that's $6,000. That's still 10 years because there's going to be other costs. I've got a minimum 10 years before I break even. So I'm 10 years to get my cost back. I'm out. That's not much. I'm sorry, but mortgage payment should be more. Because here's the other thing is, I have a house that I own. I have that thing. I don't get to just move next year. I sign a 1-year lease with you, whatever stuff. At the 1-year lease, then let's say the neighbors move in next door and they start breeding, I don't know, pot-bellied pigs. Or let's say they start domestic violence fighting constantly. So they start having a crack house. Whatever the hell is going on, you just, at the end of your lease, and or if you want to, just pack up and say, screw it, I don't give a shit about this lease. And you just pack up and leave anyway. And then I have to go after suing you, which I also have to minimize my damages, which is one of those things that I can't just leave the house empty for the next 6 months and then make you pay the rent. I have to do my due diligence to try and rent the place out. Now, can I charge you a little bit of that rent until I get a new renter there? Yes. Can I charge you a little bit of cost? Say I buy an ad in a paper, so I put an ad out, or I pay somebody some advertising, I can charge you for that too and take it off your deductible or your deposit. It ain't the case. And then also, here's the best part, the fact you just piece up and leave. I'm stuck with that house now. So now I had a house that was renting for $2,000 a month, but because the neighbors are complete and utter shit, that house now only brings in $1,200 a month. So now I'm short $300 a month because my payment didn't go down just because the neighbors suck. My payment's still sitting there at $1,500 a month. And guess what? So now I'm losing money every month because the neighborhood sucks. You don't. You pack up and you leave. So you have nothing to worry about. You're out here. You take your $1,500 a month and you leave. You peace out. You're gone. And your deposit you give first and last and deposit, it's nothing. I mean, you think $3,000 is going to fix my house when you trash this place? And that happens a lot, unfortunately. And that's one of the reasons why rent is so damn high, is because everybody else that they're renting, I'm not saying you, maybe you're a great person, you're a renter who watched this and leaves the house better than you ever got it, and that is the case. My mother had rented most of her life. She bought a house once, didn't keep it, went back to renting. Given her house, she went back to renting, even that's still kind. So she's purchased a house, but she never owned a house outright, which becomes way different once you own the house outright. And these numbers change completely at that point. But guess what? I can sell that house tomorrow and invest that money, so I have to treat it the same way. So I look at every one of them. Will the house bankroll money the day I buy it if I put down 10% down or 3.5% down, or where I put down 20% down, whatever it is? You get to pack up and leave. You can do $40,000 damage to a house in literally, would not even, like, it's not that hard, especially at the fact that if I'm not willing to do the work myself. I'm luckily, I'm young enough, I'm able to do a lot of the work myself. But as I get older, or as I get busier, I don't want to do that work. I got to hire somebody. And now labor costs are through the roof. All this stuff's going on, and it's only going to keep going up. Florida has passed a law saying $15 minimum wage an hour jobs. So guess what? Now I wanted to hire some waterheaded lazy shit who doesn't want to hardly work very much. I was going to pay him $8 an hour, to come over and clean the house up, throw all your trash away. Now he's going to charge take off your deductible. Not going to do it anymore. You're not deductible, your deposit. Sorry, your deposit. I can't do it anymore. Now I got to pay somebody at least $15 an hour. And guess what? The lazy people, they can go to McDonald's or Burger King for $15 an hour. I can't get them. I got hard work. I'm making $25, $30 an hour. Sometimes $40 an hour. Because me actually comes over actually willing to work their ass off and work hard and know what they're doing, just to throw out garbage, because it's a hard, shitty job. With all the mess left behind by renters. So now, let's say it's gonna take 5 hours. It used to cost $40. I deduct $40 off there, plus whatever the dump fee was. No big deal. Now I'm gonna pay somebody $25 an hour times 4 hours. Guess what? You're now paying a lot more money, because that's how shit is. I have to charge higher deductible or deposits. Same thing goes. The deal happens. They decide to change the tax rate. I gotta pay it. There's no choice in that. I still pay it. I don't get a homestead tax exemption, that kind of stuff. You get to leave anytime you want. You can go find a new job. You can take any job anywhere in the world, because worst case scenario, you pay a couple months of your lease, you back out of it, you're good to go, you can move around. I can't. I own a bunch of houses that are all tied down. Hence, I should charge you more money than what my mortgage payment should be, because the mortgage payment is just what it costs me. So I can't. Why would I have rental properties if I'm breaking even? What would possibly make me want to go clean out your toilet, go deal with your mess, answer your questions, change your light bulbs, chase you down when you don't pay? What would make me want to do this for $0, like to break even? So what, in 30 years, I might own a house if you guys don't trash it too much in the process. And trust me, when you own a house, you have owner pride. You have pride of ownership. You do not have that in rental. People don't give a damn. Now, again, I grew up in rentals my whole life, with my mother, and basically she had pride in that house and she took care of it. We did a really good job, including replacing carpet in one of the places stuff. Maybe twice we did that. She put new carpet in because the carpet was complete crap and that landlord wasn't willing to do it, but she was paying cheap rent, so she did this. My father, who was given 2 different houses over his lifetime, so he's owned them both. This handler, here's a free house, here's a free house. Never gave a shit about nothing. Never took care of them. Their houses were complete and utter trash. So it doesn't always mean just because you own it, it means you take care of it. It's not the case at all. So, but that's just a couple of reasons of why rent should be more than a mortgage payment. And guess what? If you're renting, You might have an 860 credit score. Who knows? You might have 50 grand down. Who knows? Then go buy a house if that's where you want to do it. But are you wanting the place in your life? Is that the house you want to live in for the next 30 years? Or at least, you need to be there at least 7 to 10 years to be able to make any money, to make it worthwhile, paying closing costs, all that stuff. We're not even talking about the closing costs. And the closing cost to get a loan for $250,000, you're $8,000 into the closing cost. There's so much involved in this. You guys have no idea. If you've never purchased a house, if you've never done this thing, you pay $500 minimum for an inspection. You pay all this stuff. You pay all the money. That's before you even buy the house. Like, they could come back and go, oh yeah, there's asbestos in the walls, or there's a crack in the ceiling, there's whatever stuff, and you're out that money. Like, you're out $1,000, and you haven't even purchased a house yet. You've had an offer accepted. Now you got to throw all this money out there just to have the chance to look at the house to see if you actually even want, if it's worth buying, if it gets appraised, if the bank will even loan you money on it. There's a million things you guys got no idea. But if you sit here and be like, oh, these rip-off con artists, landlords, and they're scumbags, and they're blah, blah, you have no clue what they're going through. Now, are there some out there? Yes, there are some that buy the shittiest houses and do not fix them up, don't take care of stuff, and those people, there are laws for those, and those people need turned in and taken care of. But if you have a good landlord, pay your damn rent, offer to, make them some cookies, do something, be nice to your landlord. If your landlord takes care of you, if you call them and say, hey, my air conditioner broke, he said, I'll see if I can get my guy out there today. Give him a tip. Make sure he knows you're appreciated. Because the law, I believe, in Florida states they have 10 days to fix your air conditioning. Get a shit if it's December or if it's August, 10 days. And they don't have to pay to put you in a hotel. It comes to there's a lot of laws that are there. So the shitty ones know that, and they'll wait. They have a guy that can go there tomorrow. They don't want to. They're just assholes. They'll wait 9-10 days to get it fixed, which is ridiculous on all many levels. Be nice to your landlords. Be nice to your tenants if you are a landlord. And everybody gets along. But to sit there and think that you think rent should be cheaper than a mortgage payment, you're out your damn mind. I don't give a shit what you think. That is ridiculous. So anyway, guys, that's all I got for right now. I will get off here, and hopefully won't have more rants anytime soon. But if I do, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day.